Hi everybody, it's Graham
And Matt.
with Living South Realty.
So today I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Conway Bombing and Gunnery Range.
Yeah, so back in 1940, the Army Air Force, that's what it was called back then, was practice flying over and dropping really dummy bombs is what I would call them. But
yeah, and this happened from like 1940 to 1947. So about 100,000 acres of Horry County was used as this practice area. And what they would do is they'd fly over and they'd drop these 100-pound sand-filled bombs that had like a small charge on them. Mm-hmm. So whenever they were flying over, they dropped them. The pilots could see them. It was almost like a smoke bomb. The pilots could see them from the air, which is pretty interesting. But back in the early 2000s, Graham and I worked for a developer here off of Carolina Forest Boulevard, and we were in that safety ring. So it's kind of like a bullseye and a safety ring, and part of the community was in that. So the developers would disclose that to the potential purchasers, and actually in a lot of communities, because of that, the developers would make it so you couldn't build a pool. The reason why is because they would have an Army Corps of Engineers approved contractor come in and scan the land, right, make sure there was none of these ordinances, and they would find them sometimes, but they'd only scan up to
4 feet in most cases, sometimes 6, but most of the stuff I saw was 4 feet. They would scan them.
So it's pretty interesting. So, you know, to this day, we still have people that will ask us, well, why can't we do a pool in such and such neighborhood? And, you know, if it's in the Carolina Forest area, or if it's in Barefoot, or if it's in certain parts of Conway area, you know, a lot of times the reason, it's with good reason, is because, well, you don't know what's 6 feet or 4 to 6 feet down below the ground. So right, it's not always the case, but most of the time it is. But just wanted to share that little bit of info with you. We find it interesting. Hope you did too.
It's a good life.
Living South.